Prayer Salat. Volume 1, Book 8, number 345. Narrated by Abu Dar. Allah's Apostle said, "While I was at Mecca, the roof of my house was opened and Gabriel descended, opened my chest, and washed it with Zamzam water. Then he brought a golden tray full of wisdom and faith, and having poured its contents into my chest, he closed it. Then he took my hand and ascended with me to the nearest heaven. When I reached the nearest heaven, Gabriel said to the gatekeeper of the heaven, 'Open the gate.' The gatekeeper asked, 'Who is it?' Gabriel answered, 'Gabriel.' He asked, 'Is there anyone with you?' Gabriel replied, 'Yes, Muhammad the first is with me.' He asked, 'Has he been called?' Gabriel said, 'Yes.' So the gate was opened and we went over the nearest heaven, and there we saw a man sitting with some people on his right and some on his left. When he looked towards his right, he laughed, and when he looked toward his left he wept. Then he said, 'Welcome, O pious Prophet and pious Son.' I asked Gabriel, 'Who is he?' He replied, 'He is Adam, and the people on his right and left are the souls of his offspring. Those on his right are the people of paradise, and those on his left are the people of hell, and when he looks towards his right he laughs, and when he looks towards his left he weeps.' Then he ascended with me till he reached the second heaven, and he, Gabriel, said to its gatekeeper, 'Open the gate.' The gatekeeper said to him the same as the gatekeeper of the first heaven had said, and he opened the gate. Anas said, Abu Dar added that the Prophet met Adam, Idris, Moses, Jesus and Abraham. He, Abu Dar, did not mention on which heaven they were, but he mentioned that he, the Prophet, met Adam on the nearest heaven and Abraham on the sixth heaven. Anas said, when Gabriel along with the Prophet passed by Idris, the latter said, 'Welcome, O pious Prophet and pious brother.' The Prophet asked, 'Who is he?' Gabriel replied, 'He is Idris.' The Prophet added, 'I passed by Moses and he said, "Welcome, O pious Prophet and pious brother." I asked Gabriel, 'Who is he?' Gabriel replied, 'He is Moses.' Then I passed by Jesus and he said, 'Welcome, O pious brother and pious prophet.' I asked, 'Who is he?' Gabriel replied, 'He is Jesus.' Then I passed by Abraham and he said, 'Welcome, O pious prophet and pious son.' I asked Gabriel, 'Who is he?' Gabriel replied, 'He is Abraham.' The Prophet added, then Gabriel ascended with me to a place where I heard the creaking of the pens. Ibn Hazm and Anas bin Malik said, the Prophet said, then Allah enjoined 50 prayers on my followers. When I returned with this order of Allah, I passed by Moses, who asked me, 'What has Allah enjoined on your followers?' I replied, 'He has enjoined 50 prayers on them.' Moses said, 'Go back to your Lord, and appeal for reduction, for your followers will not be able to bear it.' So I went back to Allah and requested for reduction, and he reduced it to half. When I passed by Moses again and informed him about it, he said, 'Go back to your Lord, as your followers will not be able to bear it.' So I returned to Allah and requested for further reduction, and half of it was reduced. I again passed by Moses and he said to me, 'Return to your Lord, for your followers will not be able to bear it.' So I returned to Allah and he said, 'These are 5 prayers and they're all equal to 50 in reward, for my word does not change.' I returned to Moses and he told me to go back once again. I replied, 'Now I feel shy of asking my Lord again.' Then Gabriel took me till we reached Sidrat el-Muntaha, lot tree of the utmost boundary, which was shrouded in colors indescribable. Then I was admitted into paradise, where I found small tents or walls made of pearls, and its earth was of musk. Volume 1, Book 8, number 346. Narrated by Aisha, the mother of believers. Allah enjoined the prayer when he enjoined it. It was 2 rakat only, in every prayer, both when in residence or on journey. Then the prayers offered on journey remained the same, but the rakat of the prayers for non-travelers were increased. Volume 1, Book 8, number 347. Narrated by Atiyah. We were ordered to bring out our menstruating women and veiled women in the religious gatherings and invocation of Muslims on the 2 Eid festivals. These menstruating women were to keep away from their masala. A woman asked, "O Allah's Apostle, what about one who does not have a veil?" He said, "Let her share the veil of her companion." Volume 1, Book 8, number 348. Narrated by Muhammad bin al-Munkadir. Once Jabir prayed with his izar tied to his back while his clothes were lying beside him on a wooden peg. Somebody asked him, "Do you offer your prayer in a single izar?" He replied, "I did so to show it to a fool like you. Had any one of us 2 garments in the lifetime of the Prophet?" Volume 1, Book 8, number 349. Narrated by Muhammad bin al-Munkadir. I saw Jabir bin Abdullah praying in a single garment, and he said that he had seen the Prophet praying in a single garment. Volume 1, Book 8, number 350. Narrated by Umar bin Abi Salama. The Prophet prayed in one garment and crossed its ends. Volume 1, Book 8, number 351. Narrated by Umar bin Abi Salama. I saw the Prophet offering prayers in a single garment in the house of Salama, and he had crossed its ends around his shoulders. Volume 1, Book 8, number 352. Narrated by Umar bin Abi Salama. In the house of Salama I saw Allah's Apostle offering prayers, wrapped in a single garment around his body with its ends crossed round his shoulders. Volume 1, Book 8, number 353. Narrated by Abu Murrah, the freed slave of Hani, the daughter of Abi Talib said, I went to Allah's Apostle in the year of the conquest of Mecca and found him taking a bath, and his daughter Fatima was screening him. I greeted him. He asked, "Who is she?" I replied, "I am Hani bint Abi Talib." He said, "Welcome, O Hani." When he finished his bath he stood up and prayed 8 rakat while wearing a single garment wrapped round his body, and when he finished I said, "O Allah's Apostle, my brother has told me that he will kill a person whom I gave shelter, and that person is so-and-so the son of Hubaira." The Prophet said, "We shelter the person whom you have sheltered." Ham added, "And that was before noon, duha. He person whom you have sheltered." Ham added, "And that was before noon, duha." Volume 1, Book 8, number 354. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. A person asked Allah's Apostle about the offering of the prayer in a single garment. Allah's Apostle replied, "Has every one of you got 2 garments?" Volume 1, Book 8, number 355. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "None of you should offer prayer in a single garment that does not cover the shoulders." Volume 1, Book 8, number 356. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's Apostle said, "Whoever prays in a single garment must cross its ends, over the shoulders."